Hello, hello. Today we're going to talk about substitution method to solve systems of equations. So substitution, you swap out one value for an equivalent value and go for it, right? So we're going to kind of use this flow chart, right? We're going to look at our equations. Our goal is isolate a variable in one equation, then substitute that into the other equation, solve for the other variable, substitute back into the other equation, and then solve for the other variable, right? So it's substitute, substitute, substitute all the way through, hence substitution, right? So just ask yourself, like, is one already isolated? That's super cool, because then one less step for me. But if it's not, we're going to isolate it. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to substitute in. We're going to solve for one of the variables. Then we're going to take that value, substitute it back in to this part over here. And then we're going to check, because we always want to know we're right, right? All right, so here we go. Let's do this, guys. Our first example, here is our system. Negative 7x minus 2y equals 1 and y equals negative 4. Okay, so the first thing that I'm thinking is, are any of my variables already isolated? So we want it to be either x equals something or y equals something, okay? And so that's my first thought. Do I have that? So I look here, that first one, nope. The second one, y equal, yes! Happy day, it's a gift. All right, and this one already gives me the value of y. Cool, guys, this is like math gifts for us. So we're gonna take this now, and we're gonna go to step 2. Okay, so we're gonna take this y equals negative 4, and we're gonna plug it in to the y that's in this other one, because these are equal things. So I can take y out of the game and I can substitute negative 4 in wherever that is. So let's do that. So we're going to have negative 7x, because I don't know x, minus 2 times, because 2 times y, right? And now that's going to be negative 4, because we're swapping out. Remember, whoop, y got pulled from the game, negative 4 got placed in, equals 1. Okay, now it's solving an equation for x. So we're going to do negative 7x, negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. That equals 1. All right, so we want to get negative 7x alone, so let's zero out 8 by subtracting it, right? So I'm left with negative 7x over here, because 8 minus 8 is 0. And over here I'm left with negative 7. 1 minus 8, I'm negatives. Now I want to isolate x. So I need to get this to 1x, so negative 7 divided by negative 7 gives me 1, right? And so I divide the other side by negative 7, x should equal 1. Okay, and we already said y is negative 4, so we don't have to substitute back in on this one. So we're already ready to jump right into our checks. All right, so here we go. To check, we're going to plug in our x and y value, right? And I'm going to actually write this as a solution. Here we go. Our solution, we're saying, should be x is 1 and y is negative 4. So we're going to plug that into our equation here. And always use the original. Use the original, use the original. Because if you did something funky, you're going to still be all funky with your answers. All right, so here we go. So negative 7x minus 2y equals 1. I'm going to substitute 1 for x. So negative 7 times 1 minus 2 times, and now y is going to be negative 4. Does that equal 1? All right, so negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Negative 7 plus 8 is 1 equals 1. Woohoo! Happy day, our solution works. Now the other one, I already have y is negative 4 if I was substituting into the other one. So we have y equals negative 4. I would take my y value, negative 4. Does that equal itself? It sure does. It works for both of them. We are good. That's what you're doing. All right, so this one's a gift. Woohoo! It gave it to me. I can jump right into like solving. I didn't even have to go back and solve for y. It gave it to me. That's not always the case. Okay, so let's look here. So negative 3x minus 8y equals 20, negative 5x plus y equals 19. Remember, first thing I'm asking myself is, are either of my variables isolated, right? Are they alone? No, they're not. Okay, so that means my first thing I need to do is I need to isolate. I'm going to look at these coefficients, right? I'm looking, is one of them 1? Is one of them 1? Hey, look, it's 1. Okay, so I'm going to isolate here. We're going to start with this one. So we're going to take negative 5x plus y equals 19. And we're going to solve for y. So I need to zero out the negative 5x, zero out, so opposite operations. And I put it on the other side. Right, so this zeroed out, I'm left with y equals 19 plus 5x. Okay, so we're going to use this, y equals 19 plus 5x. We're going to substitute it in to the other equation. I'm going to switch up my colors just to keep this organized. These are equal amounts, so y and 19 plus 5x are the same. They are equal to each other. Okay, so I'm going to use the other equation now. Negative 3x minus 8y equals 20. Except now wherever y is going to become this big old equation right here, right? So we're going to have negative 3x, whoa, sorry, floating x there, minus 8 times, and now we're going to plug this in because that's equal to y. 19 plus 5x equals 20. Right? And now we're going to simplify this expression. So we have negative 3x minus 8, negative 8 times 19. Look, if you're not sure, 19 times 8, here we go, 72. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15, right? And so it would be negative 152. And then negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. Keep the x, equals 20. All right, and we're going to keep on going here. So I'm going to combine like terms. So I have negative 43x minus 152 equals 20. We're marching along, so plus 152 plus 152 to zero out, right? We want to get this x alone. We're solving for x right now. So negative 43x equals 172. Right, and then it's just, okay, well, how many of these go into here, right? Because now I'm going to divide to get isolate x, right? To get 1x. So that goes to 1, and x equals, and if you're not sure, just off to the side, 172 divided by 43. I'm going to start with, I want close to 17. This is, if I do times 4, it would be 16. So let's see. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Woohoo! All right. So this is going to be negative, because positive divided by negative. Negative 4 is x. Whew! All right, that was a lot of work. Here we go. We're not done yet, because we found x, but we haven't found y yet, right? So we're going to take this, whew, and we're going to plug it back in to our other equation here. So where we were before, we're going to plug in, and we're going to plug in where we isolated it right here. So we're going to come back to this one. So I'm going to say y equals 19 plus 5x. And now we're going to plug in negative 4 for x. So y equals 19 times, whoa, plus, guys, I'm crazy, plus 5 times x is now negative 4, swapping out players, right, for equivalent amounts. So then we have y equals 19. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, so 19 minus 20. And so we get y equals negative 1. Okay, so that was a lot, right? Isolate here, substitute in, solve for x. Take x, substitute it back into our first one, solve for y. We have this, now it's check time. Let's check and make sure. So what we're saying is that our solution should be -4, -1. That should be the point that makes both of them true. And so now let's see. I'm going to start with -3x minus 8y equals 20. And I'm plug in. So -3 times my x is -4 minus 8 times my y is -1 equals 20. And multiply. -3 times -4 is 12. -8 times -1 is 8. Does that equal 20? 12 plus 8 is 20. Okay, so it works for our first one. And now I'm going to check the second one. -5x plus y equals 19. I'm going to plug in -5x is -4, so -5 times 4, plus -1. Does that equal 19? Let's see, 20 minus 1, 19 equals 19. All right, so we are good. Our solution is, in fact, -4, -1. Whew! All right, we worked hard. Let's try one more. Here we go. Okay, x plus 3y equals 1, -3x minus 3y equals -15. Remember, we want x equals or y equals. It's not there. I'm going to look at my coefficients. I want hopefully a plus or minus 1 right there. So let's solve that one. So x plus 3y equals 1. We're going to get rid of that 3y, zero it out, so that we can get this x alone. And it doesn't matter which one you solve for. I just go for the one that's a little bit easier. Right? Okay, so we're saying x is equal to 1 minus 3y. We're going to use that, and we're going to substitute into the other equation. So I'm going to have -3x minus 3y equals -15. Okay, and we're going to substitute this in wherever x is. So we have -3 times 1 minus 3y minus 3y equals -15. Distribute. -3 plus 9y minus 3y equals -15. And we're going to combine like terms. -3 plus 6y equals -15. And we're just solving. Just keep marching along. Solving like we always have known how to do. Equals -12 divided by 6. Y equals -2. Whew. All right, we're going to take that, we're going to come right back here, and we're going to plug in and see what we get. Okay, for x now. So we're saying y is -2, so I have x equals 1 minus 3y. X equals 1 minus 3 times -2, swapping -2 for y. Okay, x equals 1 plus 6, -3 times -2. So x should equal 7. Okay, so we're saying our solution, if we've done this right, should be 7, remember x first, -2. Okay, let's check it. Check time. All right, so remember, always use the originals. So I'm going to start with x plus 3y should equal 1. And we're going to plug in our numbers. So x is 7 plus 3 times -2. Does that equal 1? 7 plus 3 times -2 is -6. Does that equal 1? 7 plus -6 is 1. Equals 1. Yay! Okay, we're good so far. Let's verify the other one. So remember, always use the original. And notice I write it down just to make sure like I have my starting spot. Now substitute in -3 times 7 minus 3 times -2. Does that equal -15? -3 times 7 is -21. -3 times -2 is +6. -21 plus 6 is -15. Yay! All right, that's it. So lots of processing here. Isolate for a variable. Substitute that in, right? Whoop. Okay, solve for that variable. Substitute that back into the other equation. Solve. and then check. You got this. Here we go.